What make you fat?
Good.
Thank you, baby.
Because when I have to sleep as my uncle, what time?
Mbah, not fair.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Global News on Signature TV. I'm Charles Pius. In the headlines, midnight road clash in Enugu claims life of a middle-aged man. Federal government inaugurates National Census Committee, gives 3 weeks deadline for report. IMF chief says U.S. tariffs to cause uncertainty slow global growth, and protesters rally in New York City to defend academic freedom and oppose Trump's higher policies. Details shortly. A middle-aged man lost his life in a midnight accident that occurred around the Air Force Base Enugu on the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway early on Friday. The victim, who was driving a Mercedes-Benz with plate number KSF 402HW, was hit from the rear by a Toyota car red in color, which pushed the car into a stationary truck that was offloading some plantains by the roadside. The driver of the Mercedes car died on the spot, while other passengers in the two cars sustained varying degrees of injury and taken to nearby hospital. The stationary truck was later set ablaze by some persons who were said to have been angered by the incident. The truck was still ablaze when the fire service arrived at the scene to put out the fire. Security agencies were on ground at the time of this report to restore normalcy in the area and evacuate the burned and crashed vehicle. An eyewitness spoke to Signature TV on the incident. Why was the truck stationed there? Why was it?
It was offloading plantain.
Where?
Anyhow, that's what the policeman was saying. That instead of going to assign materials, he was doing illegal business. It is a side office work. Because I think he wasn't there. That information.
That's the middle of road.
You're not supposed to.
It's middle of road.
Just station there.
And when you back on the side. We have here in the studio our correspondent, Gunawala, who was at the scene early this morning. Gune, tell us what you saw when you got to the scene.
Thank you for having me. Well, getting to the scene of the incident was of confusion. Some were crying, some were still in shock that they did not believe that what they saw was true. Some were angry. Some were angry that at the time they were calling the security agencies to come to their rescue, that none of them came to their rescue. So they were so angry that they called them at the time that the incident happened and none of them were available to come to their rescue. Had it been the respondent at the time they called them, the fire and the jungle justice thing wouldn't have escalated at the way it happened.
But at what time did the accident happen?
It happened around 12 midnight, 1 a.m. today, this
Oh,
morning.
really?
Yes.
Because I
According to
know,
the information I gathered.
because I know when I was coming to work this morning, I passed there and I saw the accident. That's around 6:30 or so. So it happened like hours before
Yes,
that moment.
midnight.
Midnight.
Yeah, because most of the neighborhood told us that they didn't sleep. They were watching an eye on the victim and the vehicle and all that, and trying to make sure they use things to rescue the people involved.
So were they able to rescue them?
They were, but somehow they couldn't. Some sustained injury, but the guy driving the Mercedes couldn't. He gave up at the spot.
Oh my. So the story was that there was a stationed vehicle. What was the stationed vehicle? I mean, what would it be doing in the middle of the night without light and stationed in the middle of the road at that time? To think that that road is the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway that is quite busy. I mean, anybody can move through that part, at that time. What was that truck doing there at that particular time?
When we got there, we asked questions, and they said the truck parked and was offloading plantains. Now, if you watch properly, you see at the other side of the road, there was a heap of plantains.
Okay.
So they said the truck parked there and was offloading plantains. Instead of going for the assignment it was sent to do,
Wow.
to go for.
But even at that, the truck would have parked on the other side of the road instead of this other side that is almost like the middle of the road.
Yeah, it was actually, he wrongly parked. He would have parked, but
Oh my. So the people you saw when you know got there, what were they telling you apart from the man who died on the spot? What about other persons who were in the Toyota vehicle that also had an accident? I understand that there are persons in that particular vehicle.
oh, yes, actually, the link between the Toyota Camry, the Spider Red car that is involved in the accident, the link is that the Toyota was driving. According to the story, they said that they went out clubbing, so they were drunk.
Oh,
So he was speeding. The Mercedes was in front of the Toyota, and
oh, were they together?
they were not together, but they were on the same road.
The same road.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Toyota hit the Benz
Oh,
from the back.
was it Benz also stationed?
No, he was moving. They were moving.
Okay, the truck was what was stationed.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was the Toyota that hit the Benz from the back, and the Benz entered the stationary
Vehicle.
vehicle.
So it means that the Benz was going to hit the station vehicle anyway.
Yes, apparently.
Wow. This is stunning. I mean, this is an Easter weekend, and you know, so many persons haven't worked for so long. I mean, from January to April, they want to, you know, sit out, have fun, maybe meet with friends, catch up with old folks. But it's unfortunate this has happened. What lesson really can we learn from this?
Well, okay, before the lesson, the sad part is the guy that died they said that he's planning to get married this Easter.
The guy on the message.
Yes.
Oh my.
So it was out of the anger.
This
that,
Easter?
Yes. That the family members came and was like, what? So they had to set up they set the truck ablaze. Now, going to the lesson, we should not drink while driving. Even if you go out, everybody has a capacity, the level of alcohol your body can uh, contain. So you should know your gauge. Do not go beyond your limit. Because if you go beyond your limit, you go and kill innocent people who are not even involved in your outing thing. So the Toyota Camry went out to club, and the Mercedes Benz was on his own. But it was the Mercedes guy that died, and not the people in the Toyota Camry vehicle.
My goodness. I can only imagine the level of speed that they were using for the Benz to squeeze this much. I mean, the Benz cannot be this squeezed and it will not be on high speed. I'm even also thinking the Benz might also be on a high speed for the Toyota to come from behind to hit it to get this damaged.
Yeah.
You know. So you mentioned something earlier that the family of the diseases are the ones that came to set the place ablaze. How true are we? How sure are we that is a family member that came to set the truck ablaze?
The people with him in the vehicle, part of the people that survived the accident that didn't die, that managed to call. So when they came in, the eyewitness out from attitude, you know who is linked to whom. So finally they were like, one name more, they had to take him, and they moved to the hospital where he was confirmed dead. So I asked, how did they know he's a family member? They said it's from their conversation, from their attitude towards the guy and all that. So they got to know that this is a family member. And it's from them who were like, this guy, my brother get married, how dare you, this and that, and out of anger they couldn't hold it. So they had to take the justice into their hands.
So what was the security officials doing at the time? Did they come at the time the security officials showed up, or they were there when this fire was set?
But the people involved in the accident and the people that came to rescue them, as of that time that they came, the security were not there.
Okay.
We arrived before the policemen came.
At what time was this?
That was around 9.
Okay.
We arrived before, we were there when the police, the DRS were driving in, and we came almost the same time with the fire service crew that came in. So it was part of the reason the community, the neighborhood were angry that why didn't they come at the time they called them, because had they been there then, this whole thing wouldn't have happened. Yes.
Yeah, really sad, really sad, really sad. May the person so rest in peace. Were you able to get the name of the person that died? It's so sad. And this is actually not the first time we're having an accident in that particular spot. I'm specific because I actually captured visuals of that particular spot where an accident has just happened, and it's also involved a truck that is trying to either offload something. It was pure water or sachet water that it was trying to offload, and then there was an incident. I captured it, the exact spot, and to think that that road is pretty cool, pretty good. It's not like the road is bad or something. And then you see an unwarranted accident. You can't even explain the reason why that accident happened. It's so unfortunate. But anyway, I want to say a very big thank you,
Thank you
for your
for
time.
having me.
And to all the developing stories, Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State has pledged to immortalize the former Nigerian footballer and coach Christian Chukwu, who died at the Niger Foundation Hospital in Enugu on Saturday at the age of 74. Mbah, who made the pledge when he paid a condolence visit to Chukwu's family on Thursday in Enugu, assured the family members that they were not standing alone. He described the late footballer, popularly known as Chairman, as a legend who served his country unreservedly and inspired millions of youths. He also prayed for the peaceful repose of Chukwu's soul and for fortitude of the parts of his family to bear the irreparable loss. Accompanying the governor were the Speaker, Enugu State House of Assembly, Uche Naugu, and the Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Lloyd Ikweremadu. A Roman Catholic priest, Reverend Father John Ibe, has reminded Christians of the importance of humility in the service of God and humanity. Father Ibe gave the admonition while preaching the sermon during the church service to mark the Maundy Thursday, part of activities of the Holy Week. Correspondent Ugone was at the service. The Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, has charged the new leadership of the Nigerian Railway Corporation to do everything possible to improve fortunes of the corporation, especially the Southeast Corridor. Governor Oti made the call during a meeting with a delegation of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, NRC, led by the new Managing Director, Dr. Kayode Opefa, in Owerri. He expressed concern that progress had stalled on the Umuahia to Enugu sections of the railway corridor, which was originally scheduled for completion by the first quarter of last year, but expressed confidence that the new managing director will change the trajectory on a positive direction. Governor Oti used the opportunity to assure them his administration's commitment to overhaul and modernize the state's transport sector to enhance economic activities. He says, quote, "I have no doubt that the ideas that I have been on the table even long before you came on board may have been struggling, but I believe that as you, the new MD, get down to work, it will be done." The managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Dr. Kayode Opefa, disclosed that the essence of the meeting is to deepen discussions and the plans on how best to revive the Aba Umuahia rail line. The corporation, he said, intends to add value to the nation's economic targets to reduce inflation, stabilize the economy, and reduce the cost of transportation, goods or transporting goods and services, and ensure that all major cities in the southeast are connected to the national rail line. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has assured that the Enugu-Aba-Port Harcourt railway line will commence operations in due course. Managing Director of the corporation, Dr. Kayode Opefa, gave the indication when he called on the Enugu State Governor, Peter Mbah, in Enugu. Opefa said that the railway line will not only provide a smooth, affordable, and reliable transportation system in the southeast region, but also enhance the movement of goods and people, boosting economic activities in the region. Dr. Opefa pleaded with the state's government to help the corporations to address security concerns in the area, especially the railway assets. Enugu State Governor Peter Mbah pledged that the state government will collaborate with the corporation in the revitalization of the railway sector, address challenges such as incessant vandalism of railway properties. Once again, women in Rivers State have taken to the streets of Port Harcourt to protest against the imposition of emergency rule in the state. The protests carried out under the aegis of the Rivers State Women United Prayer Group kicked against the suspension of Similai Fubara as governor. Bring up Fubara. Don't worry.
Okay, you're alive.
Live. On my own YouTube. To check something.
This people fit. Everyone I feel to do something because of this people. What these people do.
What that was it?
Maybe any impact.
The guy will take the morning, day and night. Then stay for block major road for River State. Guy gonna go do something. But this one you go do, can't go back, do go back. Nobody go listen to you. That like when they do that NSAS thing.
Yes.
That NSAS thing, they just sit down for that block everywhere, sit down.
Okay, because they don't say that one for cause problem.
Exactly. So if they do that one like that, they sit down for one place. They will provide. They will bring food there. They cook there. They eat there. They cook there. But in and shit, they go shit. Everything will be okay. You don't get how government nobody listen to them. But this is how they go after 2 hours. You go back. They say, okay, maybe we don't talk around here. So you guys do what you want to do. No problem.
That man go like that.
No problem. Make you go remove them now. Uh, I think who do you support? How the person take pictures and the best sponsor the other the, Meanwhile, the body of chairman of the 8 branches of the Nigerian Bar Association in Rivers State says there is clear justification for the shift in venue for the annual conference of the association from Port Harcourt to Enugu following recent developments in Rivers State. In a statement in Port Harcourt, the chairman of the 8 branches of the NBA in Rivers State said they fully align themselves with the reaction of the national president of the NBA, Afam Osigwe, a senior advocate of Nigeria, condemning the unconstitutional suspension of the democratically elected government in Rivers State. The association noted that rather than the peace-building efforts as promised by the president when he appointed the sole administrator, tension has steadily escalated, while arbitrariness and impunity have been displayed on a daily basis and democratic institutions demobilized in a military style. They empathize with the business owners in the state who are affected by the relocation of NBA annual conference from Rivers State to Enugu State. The NBA members urge the people to remain law-abiding and courageous in the defense of the integrity of the state and the country, while reaffirming the resolve of the association to uphold the rule of law in the state and to continue to serve the society by rendering free legal services for rights violations through its human rights committees. The House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee on Rivers Oversight has postponed its interactive session earlier scheduled with the sole administrator of the state, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas. The committee had earlier invited Ibas for a comprehensive engagement on his activities in Rivers State after the declaration of emergency rule by President Bola Tinubu. The indefinite postponement of the meeting is contained in a statement issued by House spokesperson Akin Rotimi in Abuja. Rotimi said that the committee acknowledged the request for postponement made the sole administrator and was currently working to fix a new date for the interactive session. He said that in the spirit of transparent and effective oversight, the committee will promptly inform the public once the rescheduled date is confirmed. The House had on Tuesday constituted the 21-member ad hoc committee headed by Julius Ehovere to oversee the emergency rule in Rivers State. The federal government has inaugurated a high-level committee on the forthcoming national population and housing census. The committee is expected to submit an interim report to the government within 3 weeks. Up ahead, NHIA says free cesarean section commences in over 100 hospitals for indigent women. Federal government committed to driving media industry in Nigeria. Details of these and more after the break. Do stay with us. Okay. My water. Water. The National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, has launched a nationwide initiative to provide free cesarean sections, CS, in more than 100 hospitals across Nigeria under its Comprehensive Emergency Obstetric and Neonatal Care Program. National Health Insurance Agency Director General Dr. Kelechi Ohiri revealed the development in Abuja, stating that the program is operational in federal, state, private, and faith-based health facilities across all 6 geopolitical zones. According to Dr. Ohiri, indigent women can access the service by presenting a National Identification Number, NIN, either before or after admission. Hospital social welfare teams will assess eligibility based on financial need. He emphasized that the initiative aims to lower maternal mortality by making life-saving surgical delivery procedures accessible to women who cannot afford them. Dr. Ohiri also noted that over 200 more hospitals are awaiting NHIA approval to join the program, potentially increasing access further. Importantly, no prior registration is required to benefit from the scheme. He urged Nigerians, especially in underserved communities, to spread awareness as financial constraints often limit access to safe childbirth services. The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Ladini, has raised the alarm over the activities of Islamic State West Africa province. Stated this during a working visit to the Niger and Kogi area command to the command. Adeni, who had customs officers recently escaped an ambush by ISWAP members after intercepting tons of petrol being smuggled to suspected terrorists, described their activities as a serious threat to security and customs duties. According to him, ISWAP operatives are active in the Babana border area just as Lakurawa bandits are in Kepi and Boko Haram controls the Borno axis, urging citizens to report suspicious activities. He revealed that aerial surveillance equipment has been deployed in the area, stressing the need for stronger cooperation with other security agencies. The area controller for Niger and Kogi, Pascal Chibuke, said the seized fuel worth 25.9 million naira in duty paid value was intercepted in places like Kabe, Tunga, Madugu, and Babana Guazo roads. Chibuke called for better logistics and communication support to help officers patrol more effectively amid rising threats from terrorists. The Kano state government has launched the emergency rat eradication campaign in Garun Malam local government area following a confirmed outbreak of Lassa fever that resulted in the death of a local woman. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Abubakar Labaran Yusuf, made the announcement stating that the urgent intervention aims to prevent further spread of the virus and safeguard public health. He revealed that the deceased husband and one of her children have also tested positive, prompting fears of wider transmission within the community. He emphasized that the rat extermination initiative is critical, given that rats are the primary carriers of the Lassa virus. Residents and hunters were also warned against catching or handling rats as such activities significantly raise the risk of infection. Dr. Yusuf also called on healthcare professionals across the states to enforce rigorous infection control measures when treating suspected or confirmed cases. The Ministry of Health assured residents that it has fully mobilized resources and personnel to contain the outbreak and reduce its impact on the population. The federal government says it is committed to growth of the country's industry. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated this during the 6th edition of the 2025 Ministerial Press Briefing held in Abuja.
The latest edition of the Ministerial Press Briefing, which commenced in February, has already listed ministers provide first-hand information to Nigerians on their stewardship. Speaking at the briefing, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the Media Information Literacy Institute will be strengthened to support journalists in carrying out their assignments effectively. He said the media will always be powerful stakeholders in nation building efforts in advancing electricity access and accountability across the country. Mbah said the government has been able to record a stable electricity supply in Nigeria through the improvement in generation capacity and other power reforms. The minister disclosed that following the increased by 70%, while a 7% reduction in tariff shortfall was achieved. He said the present administration considers electricity pivotal for the country's industrialization.
The senator representing Enugu North District in the National Assembly, Okesia, has decried the level of insecurity in the country, describing it as a mark of failure of governance. Ezia, who spoke during a visit to his senatorial district, said that the constitutional role of government is in protecting lives and property of citizens should be sacrosanct. He said he had made the effort, including moving motions to the floor of the Red Chamber and other engagements with security agencies to draw attention to the security challenges in the area. The senator advised the people of the districts to seek ways of securing their areas against invaders and to strengthen their local vigilante outfits. Media. It was really useful.
Even if you see the cancellation and the shoe stuff, you were not embarrassed.
Still to come, IMF chief says U.S. tariffs to cause uncertainty, slow global growth. Israel's expansion of military buffer zone triggers mass displacement of Palestinians. Do stay with us. International Monetary Fund (IMF) Managing Director Kristalina Georgievna has said that the Trump administration's sharp increases in duties have caused global uncertainties, testing the world economic's resilience. In a speech at the IMF headquarters in Washington, D.C., before the IMF World Bank spring meeting scheduled for next week, Georgieva said that the reboot of the global trading system threatens to cause turbulence in financial markets. In her words, trade tariff uncertainty is literally off the charts. IMF will significantly lower its economic growth forecast in the World Economic Outlook reports to be released next week. She also stressed that the rising trade barriers will hit growth upfront, while protectionism erodes productivity over the long run, especially in smaller economies. Calling for an alternative path forward, she called on countries to pull together and reduce uncertainty, highlighting the importance of cooperation in a multipolar world. Georgieva further warned that uncertainty is costly amid recent tariff increases, noting that rising trade barriers have an immediate impact on growth. A deputy sheriff's son killed 2 people and wounded 4 others at Florida State University before he was shot at by officers and hospitalized, authorities say. Police believe the man or the gunman, the son of a Leon County Sheriff's deputy, acted alone and the motive was not known. The suspect had access to his mother's handgun, which was once her service weapon, they said. The continuous expansion of military buffer zone by Israel military near the Maraj corridor, a new dividing line in the southern Gaza Strip, has forced numerous Palestinians again into exhausting displacements while further worsening local humanitarian crisis. The Maraj corridor, which divides Rafah and Khan Yunis, was established by the Israel Defense Forces IDF following its resumption of mass military operation in Gaza on March 18th. The Israeli military said it is expanding the corridor and has turned roughly a third of the enclave into security zones under full Israeli military's control. Palestinian media reported that Israel's move was intended to pressure Hamas into making concessions in the ceasefire negotiations while further consolidating its de facto control over Gaza to pave the way for a permanent occupation. In an area next to the corridor in Khan Yunis, numerous Palestinians were seen fleeing the area with as many belongings as they could carry, using every possible means of transport, including donkey carts, bicycles, and trucks. The Israeli military planned to further evacuate Palestinians living in this area in preparation for expanding its military buffer zone. The blockage of southern Gaza, a major agricultural production area, will severely hit local food supply and further worsening the already dire humanitarian crisis in the Strip. And that's the news this hour. Many thanks for watching. E-Vibes is next with more content. I'm Charles Fires. Take care.
Ido Baba.
Ooh. play old one now.
Huh?
They go play old one.
Okay. See,
Hi, thank you for watching. Truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. So this is 55 minutes. We ran so fast. It's a great one. Got a lot of work to do. Got some content to create. Well, thanks for listening to the news. I hope you guys enjoyed the news though. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'll be waiting there, right? Take care of you. Cheers.